What is going on, New York Jets fans, as all of us in Jets Nation are wondering, waiting, deliberating, debating who the Jets' next quarterback is going to be? Well, so are their players. Sauce Gardner taking to Twitter earlier today and said, "Hey, Aaron Rodgers." He tagged the man. Then he said, "Never mind, I forgot what I was about to say." Then, moments later, he tagged teammate, cornerback mate DJ Reed and said, "Hey, DJ, you and Derek Carr," tagging Derek, "might have to talk about that one thing." So reading between the fairly thin lines here, I think we can say that Sauce Gardner would prefer Aaron Rodgers be the Jets quarterback, and maybe he knows DJ Reed has talked about this with him, and DJ Reed likes himself some Derek Carr. We also have Garrett Wilson the other day posting a picture of Aaron Rodgers in a Jets jersey swap and saying, "It's a sign." Yeah, people, they know a monumental upgrade at the quarterback position is in order, and they want to go ahead and win some football games. You love to see it. You absolutely love to see it from our New York Jets players. Now, Derek Carr or Aaron Rodgers, that has been a debate. Now, it's not a debate who's better. It's not a debate who's had the better career, but because of things like age and draft capital to give up, and that's pretty much the main two things, right? How much is it going to cost to get one player? Derek Carr likely to be released. And then, okay, you have Carr for 4, 5, maybe 6 seasons. Aaron Rodgers for 1, 2, at the most, you would think 3 seasons for Aaron Rodgers. For me, it's Aaron because it makes the Jets a Super Bowl contender. And I know, but Buffalo, we need a safety. We don't have an all-pro at every single position linebacker. Oh my goodness. Until we have the best punter, linebacker, safety, and AVT at every position, we are not a Super Bowl contender. So just build the team and trust the process. All right. Maybe. We don't get Aaron Rodgers. Okay. I'm not giving up on my Jets fandom. But if you get Aaron Rodgers, you are a Super Bowl contender if you're the Jets. It's just this simple. You don't have to overthink this. If you get Aaron Rodgers, now let's say, what Aaron Rodgers are we likely getting? What Aaron Rodgers do I hope we get? 20, 21, whatever, MVP, 70% completions, 40-plus touchdowns. Don't think we're getting him. Is it also likely we're getting Aaron Rodgers with a broken thumb? No, you're probably getting the middle of those two, which is what, low 30s touchdowns, 10-ish less interceptions, 65 to 67 completions, which would be the 4th, 5th, 6th best quarterback in the NFL. Let's say conservatively he's a top 8 quarterback, and the Jets defense was about the 4th best in the NFL last year. Let's say you have to you cut a Carl Lawson, you can't bring back a couple of guys, a Quan Alexander, because you had to bring in Aaron Rodgers and fortify the offensive line. Your defense, let's say the defense is 8th as well. Top 8 quarterback, top 8 defense. The offensive line. Yes, we are not going to have the 2010 Jets offensive line. We're not. But the Jets offensive line wasn't horrendous in the beginning of the year. It wasn't good, but Breece Hall is getting 5.5 yards a clip running behind AVT and Max Mitchell. And then when AVT goes down, then Max Mitchell, George Fant's out there limping. Even if we just stayed healthy, the Jets offensive line would have been significant below average, but not rancid. AVT back, Max Mitchell back, Mekhi Becton, can't really count on him. But I think it's obvious that the Jets are going to upgrade a quarterback and offensive line. The first draft pick that the Jets use, whether it's 13 or 44, is probably going to be spent on offensive line. You can make $80 million of cap space in the blink of an eye, moving and dealing with some cuts and some restructures. So let's say the Jets get their offensive line up to average, not even good. Average offensive line, top 8 quarterback, top 8 defense, Breece Hall, number 1 wide receiver, Garrett Wilson. You're not AFC favorites. You're not. You're not favored over Kansas City and over the Bengals. You probably aren't even favored over the Bills to win your division, but guess what? If you're the Jets and you're the 5 seed or whatever, and you're going into Buffalo, you can absolutely knock the Bills out of the playoffs in their building. We played the Bills to a 5-point deficit this past year in 2 games with very subpar quarterback play. Our defense gives Josh Allen fits. So the only 2 teams that you're like clearly are ahead of the Jets would be Cincinnati and the Bengals. Okay, that's life. And, but we'd have to, yeah, and if I painted you a picture of the Jets being a Super Bowl champion with Aaron Rodgers, there's a lot of ifs and buts, man. If Mekhi Becton this, if Breece Hall is back by this time, if they hit on a draft. Yes, there's a lot of ifs and buts. Guess why? Because it's damn difficult to win a Super Bowl. Again, the Buffalo Bills have been the trendy, sexy Super Bowl pick the last 3 years. They haven't even made it to one, and it seems like they're getting further away. And a Bills fan might say, well, if Von Miller's if the, you know? A Bengals fan will say, if that guy just didn't push Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers would say, if we recovered an onside kick against the Seattle Seahawks, I have another ring. As a Jets fan, I'd tell you if Brett Favre doesn't tear his bicep, if Vinny Testaverde doesn't blow out his ACL, right? If Mark Sanchez doesn't fumble that ball in Pittsburgh, that's the NFL. It's damn hard to win a Super Bowl. But with Aaron Rodgers, you absolutely have a shot. You're absolutely a contender. And with Derek Carr, you're not. I don't think you're winning a Super Bowl with Derek Carr, because you could say, people tell me, oh, look at the 49ers, right? Look how they built their team. You could do that and have a Derek Carr kind of quarterback, like they had with Jimmy G, right? And they were definitely Super Bowl contenders. But okay, let's look at the 49ers, man. And I think the Jets have a good roster. I just named a lot of positive things about the Jets roster, but the 49ers and Eagles, those two teams in total, in terms of complete roster talent, are in, my goodness. The Niners have a Hall of Fame tackle in Trent Williams. They have a Hall of Fame edge rusher in Bosa. I don't care how long he's played. He's a Hall of Famer. Give me a break. They have an all-pro tight end in Kittle. And when he's right, maybe he's the most complete tight end of the game because of the way he blocks. They have a number 1 elite wide receiver in Deebo Samuel. We have one of those, but they also have a number 2 wide receiver in Brandon Ayuk, who gets 1,000 yards himself. They have Christian McCaffrey. Okay, maybe we have that with Breece when he's back healthy. Sure. We have the number 4 defense in the NFL. They have the number 1 defense in the NFL, right? And they have one of the top 3 offensive minds on earth. And guess what? With all of that, they still looked at Jimmy G and said, we've gone as far as we can go. And we're going to trade 3 first-round picks to get a guy who we think can take us to the next level and win a Super Bowl. So, yeah, you can get in and get hot like Nick Foles 1-1, right? Eli Manning's got 2. I don't, no disrespect to Giants fans. Look, Eli's a legend. But Eli Manning was never at any point considered a top 5, 8 quarterback in the league. Ever. So it's possible, but damn. You're talking few and far between there. But I would be okay with Derek Carr. Now, I'm not Aaron Rodgers or bust. He's my number 1 option. But if we can't get Aaron Rodgers, I don't just say, well, F it, just tank and just throw a Band-Aid on it 1 year. I don't want to commit to mediocrity, just whatever. It's all Super Bowl or it doesn't matter. I don't feel that way. I don't feel that way as a sports fan. I hear Jets fans say Super Bowl is the only goal that matters. Well, I think we're setting ourselves up for a pretty miserable experience as a sports fan if that's our criteria, man. Yeah, you want to win the Super Bowl. That's why Aaron Rodgers is number 1. But number 2, if you can get Derek Carr and we can be a perennial playoff team and we can have a 21st century offense and we cannot be a complete joke, be watchable, like those mean something to me. They do. I would like those things. But I would love having a quarterback that you feel like, man, once you get into those playoffs, our guy can go punch for punch with your guy. And our defense, when they're hot, can hold anybody to 20 or less. That's a contender. That's a contender. It's not that complicated. I'm a safety. I'm linebacker. They had holes at safety and linebacker last year. They were still a top 5 defense. They're a contender, man. Interesting comments from DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner. Interesting debate. God, just don't miss out on both of them. Please, Joe Douglas, get one of these men. We'll talk football soon.